Welcome back to part 2 of the Extraordinary Living Leadership Training. So let's get into talking about, let's transform our thinking so that we can live a life of faith, where our thinking is where we just expect extraordinary things to happen. That when you get up in the morning, you're not dreading getting out and starting the day like 99% of the world. No, when you wake up with expectation that today is going to be a great day. Today, I'm going to have favor in my life, and I'm going to have great experiences. I'm going to meet the right people. I'm going to be a blessing to other people. Now, I talk a lot about faith, and faith to me is simply seeing things from God's perspective. And here's why that's so critical is, see, most people see things from their own perspective, or from their family's perspective, or from other people's perspective. See, we as humans, we're small thinkers on our own. It's only when we see that God who created us has great expectations, that He created us for greatness, that He loves us, and He wants good things for us, do we begin to grasp little by little how great we really are, and how great God wants us to live, but how great He wants us to be. You see, if you want to live extraordinary, you've got to have that foundation of love, where you're loving people. I always tell people that I don't want them to bring their religion to our company, because our company is about relationship. And I tell people that I live my life in a spiritual sense on two things. And that is in the Bible. When Jesus was asked, what is the most important thing, He said, number one, that you would love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. That's number one. And number two is that you would love your neighbors yourself. Upon these two things, everything else hangs. You see, if you want to transform your life, if you want to transform your business, start loving people. But you can't love people as yourself until you first love yourself and accept yourself for who you are, that you're a work in progress, that you're in motion. Really, you're a miracle in motion. You're becoming great every day. You're becoming more extraordinary every single day. And so when you live your life that way, you begin to act differently. You see, the formula for success doesn't change. It is that you have to change. You have to change your thinking. You have to change your actions, which will then change your results. And here's something I'm going to tell you. Again, you're not going to like this. I hear people all the time talk about how hard they work, how hard they work, how hard they work, how hard they work. Actions mean nothing without results. You can be proud of your actions, but if your actions aren't producing results, then you've got to go back to the beginning. What am I thinking? What am I expecting? And then are my actions based upon right thinking and right expectations and right attitudes that cause my actions to produce results? You see, you can work 100 hours a week in this business, but if you're not making any money, you're doing something wrong. You've got to go back to the beginning and find out where the breakdown is, correct it, and then you simply move forward and begin to see those results begin to change. Does that make sense to you? It's pretty simple. So here's the next thing that we have to think about is extraordinary living doesn't mean being problem-free, because everyone has problems. I love this because I talk to people all the time and they talk about living extraordinary, or they look at me and they say, wow, I wish I had your life. You can have my life, but let me ask you a question. Do you also want my problems? You see, the higher you go, the more successful you become, the bigger your problems become. I think so many people, they're working to get away from their problems. But your problems are going to follow you wherever you go. That's just life. And so I think to manage your expectations so that you have a real perspective on what life really is and what building a business really is, you've got to understand there are going to be problems. I'll liken it to, at the first of the year, we turned on our new back office, and we had some challenges. We had problems. I had some leaders that they understood, no problem, others that thought the sky was falling in. You can't be a leader and not be able to manage problems and not to expect them. That's just life. That's how life works, right? And so you have to understand that we're never going to have a problem-free life. You see, when you learn how to deal with them, then you're able to not let them move you, but you move them. And you don't allow them to slow you down any longer. And you become empowered. See, very few people reach the extraordinary lifestyle because they are not willing to grow and change. This is just the reality. The majority of people that I meet, they think they know it all, they've experienced it all. It's not them that needs to change, it's their circumstances that need to change, it's other people that need to change, it's this needs to change, that needs... No. If you want your circumstances to change, if you want your income to change, if you want to go to an extraordinary lifestyle, you need to change. You need to grow. You need to become a student of life, meaning that you need to read books. You need to get around people that are going to challenge you. I love to be around individuals who they bring me to question. Or if I have something that I'm talking about, they come back and say, have you thought about it this way? I respect those kind of people because they challenge me to grow and to change and to become more than I am today. And in 2018, for me personally, my greatest focus is, what can I do to become the best person that I can possibly be, to love as big as I can love, to do as much as I can do to help people, and do all of this on a more consistent, persistent basis. Anyone that knows me knows that my two favorite words are consistent, persistent. I think they're my two favorite words because they're two of the things I struggle with the most in life. I'm strong-willed, I'm willing to work hard, but sometimes I'm not as consistent, as persistent as I really should be. So I want to work on that in my life. You know, the dominant experience you are living in your life and success in Trévo is a reflection of the way your heart is thinking. I know I keep bringing this up over and over again, but I'm going to keep bringing it up until you get it. And the way I'm going to know you're going to get it is because I'm going to see you become more successful in Trévo. You see, you can fake it. You can talk to everyone about how positive you are and blah, blah, blah. But see, when you're alone in the quiet time of your life, what are you really thinking? When you wake up in the morning, what are the thoughts that first come to your mind? You see, because that's the thinking that matters. Not the thinking that you speak out to impress people or to make people think that you believe. No, it's the deep core thinking that really is what affects your attitude, your expectations, and your actions. You see, the reflection from the inside reflects out eventually. You can fool people for a while, but it won't forever. If your business isn't moving in the direction you want it to, and you just can't seem to move from the exciting to the extraordinary, you should stop. Just stop. If it takes you a few days, it's okay. And discover the roadblock. Discover what it is. I've been doing that a lot recently, is looking at different areas of my life, things that aren't moving in the way that I want them to move, and examining not outer things, but inner things in my life, and saying, what is it inside of you that is causing you to not be able to break through to that next level, to do that next extraordinary thing that you want to do? I challenge you to form groups of individuals that you support one another, that you hold one another accountable, that you challenge one another. You see, you have to elevate your thinking to elevate your success. You have to elevate yourself into a place that is higher than you are today in order to go to a place that is higher. You know, the word faith, coming back to that, faith is the substance of things hoped for and evidence of things not seen. So until you began to think in faith, to begin to see your level of success where you're not at today, before you get there, you'll never get there. It may sound confusing, but it's the truth. You see, don't miss it because it's simple. Unless you deal with your thinking, you'll stay where you're at. This is the whole key to success, because the truth is there is no plateau in living. You're either moving up or you're moving down. You may have not noticed it, but it's happening. There is no place to rest in our life. We have to keep moving, keep pushing. The question is, why haven't you been able to reach that next level? Have you asked yourself that question? I'm sure you have. Well, the answer is simple. It's just that you haven't planted enough seeds in your life or in your business. You haven't opened yourself up to enough information that changes your thinking, that inspires you, that challenges you, that motivates you, that excites you, that sets you on fire. Or you haven't planted enough seeds in your business where you've talked to enough people. Go to your back office. Instead of looking at how many people your team members have enrolled, go check out how many people you've enrolled. Go check out how many elite customers you've brought to the business. Look at your calendar and see what things have you done. You see, so many people, they want to take a shortcut to success. They're sitting around praying for a miracle. And I believe in miracles. But I also know that for each of us, we are our miracle to the transformation in our life. You see, God's not going to make an exception for you or for me. We live in a world where it's all about seed time and harvest. And you have to be willing to plant the seeds, to develop yourself, plant the seeds to develop your business. That's just the law of harvest in our lives, in our businesses, in our relationships. The same applies to your Trévo business. That seed time and harvest. What is seed time? It's every person that you talk to about the product. It's every person that you talk to about the business. It's every person that you mentor and you coach and you teach to duplicate and do the same. Those are the seeds that you're planting. You're working with seeds in your business that you're planting to grow a successful business. And I like these, looking at 4 types of seeds. I kind of compare this to a parable in the Bible. So you're talking to people, planting seeds. The first is a seed you plant to someone, no is the answer. They don't have a heart to understand anything about our products, anything about our business. It's a no. That's done, no question. The second thing is, the second seed is you talk to someone, they get excited, but they don't commit. They get excited. How many of you have had someone that they join and they say, I'm going to become the number one, blah, 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 and they go on, never do anything. And then you have that third seed. They get excited, they take action, but then life happens. They get distracted. And they don't ever follow through. They never get back on board. They don't produce the results that they had told you they would produce, and maybe the results didn't happen that they expected, so they blame the opportunity that doesn't work, but they simply didn't do the actions long enough to get the results. But then there's that fourth seed. Those are people who get excited. They make a commitment, and then they take the right actions. They get the right thinking. They get the right attitudes. They get the right expectations. They take the right action, and they allow time for their business to grow. We call the Trévo your tree, if you're looking at nature, but your business to grow so that they can reach the extraordinary lifestyle. They're willing to let that time happen. They keep planting, you keep sowing, you keep nurturing, you keep sowing, keep nurturing, keep sowing, keep nurturing, and harvest, seed time and harvest will come. You see, there's no magic to our life, to our business. I get so amazed at these 3-step, 6-step, 12-step programs of how you're going to instantly become successful. No, it doesn't work that way. It's just one day at a time, being faithful, being consistent, being persistent, step by step to your success of what you're desiring in your life. You see, it takes time. It's going to take time for the seed to germinate underneath, for the roots to grow, for it to sprout up, and for it to grow. That root system, nothing seen on the surface, but because you keep going, it becomes great. But it goes through a process. Most people just want fruit. Most people just want to start the business and they're a millionaire. It doesn't work that way. You see the extraordinary lifestyle. It's not going to happen overnight. You've got to begin to plant in your business, plant in your personal life, nurture it, let it grow. You're going to have struggles. These are the things that happen in order for you to push up through the ground and become successful. You and your team members, you're going to go to the next level if you're people who will not quit. You see, people who quit, they just haven't given themselves or their business enough time. But you're not those people. You're someone that is committed to the long term. And this is what we want for every person in Trévo. Extraordinary living, purpose, prosperity, where people are able to live on purpose. They're able to touch millions of lives with wellness, prosperity, and legacy. This is our heart's desire. So how do you get started and stay on the journey to experience and live extraordinary living? Well, you have to have absolute commitment, no stop and start, maintain thrust. That means that you've got to keep pushing. You've got to always keep pushing because life is going to try to pull you down, and then never stop. There's no ceiling on your potential. You can go to the stratosphere of the extraordinary that is available to you. And we want to challenge you to never stop and never give up. Because 2018, it's going to be an extraordinary year for you. Set your goals, set your sights, and you're on your way to extraordinary living. Thank you so much, and God bless you.